I walk it, talk it, sleep it, act it.
Boxing is simply immoral. It is wrong for society to promote an activity where one person is deliberately trying to harm the other person. That's simply wrong.
Savage brutality or combat sport? A&E traces the evolution of boxing from its ancient origins to its present-day controversies. Join us for interviews with today's current champions and footage of yesterday's legendary heroes as A&E offers you ringside seats to a one-of-a-kind event. Knockout, the story of boxing.
Guy's a champion because he has a little bit more, a little bit extra that makes him a champion. It's a desire to win, pride maybe determination, maybe survival.
Getting more dangerous and dangerous, you know. The race is getting stronger, faster, bigger, and the punches will be much harder, you know. So there will be a time when you kill a guy with just one punch.
Once I step into the ring, I realize there's a great risk there. But if I was going to lose, if I was going to get killed or whatever, I'd rather be killed in the ring. You know, I'd rather be taken in the ring. As far as my belt, I feel so that for you to get my belt, you're going to have to kill me in order to get my belt. You know, and that was something that I said when I first gained the championship, because I worked so hard and so long to accomplish this, and it was a dream that I had since a childhood, and you can't let somebody just destroy that from you.
Boxing is a brutal and exciting sport. It is also one of the oldest forms of athletic competition. Two men locked in combat, risking injury and death to achieve a single purpose, dominance over another man. Boxing is unlike team sports. A fighter can't depend on anyone else. Once he steps into the ring, he is alone and will be measured alone. Frankie is a man among thousands who dreams of becoming a champion. He must build a flawless record fighting in local clubs before gaining wider exposure on television.
And every promoter's dream is to develop the fighter, because the fighter makes the promoter. And this kid, I got high hopes for. I think this kid got a possibility of going all the way. I think this kid can be a contender. I think this kid, you know, can go. Franco's a good-looking fighter. He's a good fighter. He can punch. He moves good. He got a good chin. He's handled good. You know, they're his trainers. They love him. They're not flesh peddlers. You know, they're not going to sell the kid out. They're looking for his best interest. And in the fight game, flesh peddlers are a guy that he'll throw somebody in front of a train for the right price.
It is 10 days before Frankie's first professional fight. His sparring partner is 20 pounds heavier with more experience. He spars with a heavier man to gain strength.
You really learn when you're boxing. You learn from boxing with better fighters. You know what I'm saying? You can't learn just by shallow boxing, hitting the bag. You got to go in the ring. You got to mix it up. You got to go in the jungle, as they call it. You got to work in there. You got to learn in there. Some guys get softened up before they learn. They win every day. They'll box 20,000 rounds in a day. They don't learn nothing because all they're doing is catching. So I feel it's the trainer's responsibility to see he spars the right guys. Because he's got the biggest thing licked. He's got a good jaw. Now, if we can teach him how to fight, that's another story, you know. Nice try, nice try.
There's no in between. Either you do nothing or you're on the top. There's no money for the guy in between. I don't care who the fighter is. He's going to get his brains battled around if he hangs around long enough. You got to make it to the top. for me as a promoter to say, oh, nobody gets hurt, this is a nice game. It isn't a nice game. You got two guys with mitts on and killing one another. It's not a nice game, you know. It's a game, but the fighter wants to do it. Something inside the fighter that wants to do it.
I like the excitement. I like the blood. I love the gloves. I think it's an art. I love it. I walk it, talk it, sleep it, act it. I think if you cut open his head, I've said it many times, you might find one big boxing glove in there.
I think that over 90% of youngsters today who choose boxing as a way to make a living, they live in subculture of poverty, and there is a way out of the ghetto. And that's the main incentive, I think.
You know, if you're doing something and you know you're good at it, you do it. You know, the kid that's being a boxer ain't just the average kid. Usually some kid down at the corner that's pretty rough or tough, and he tries boxing. He knows he's good at it, and that's why he does it.
One of the roughest, toughest was Jake LaMotta, a smoldering, driven man from the streets of New York who was proud of his violence and the nickname it earned him.
Right now, I'm happy to say I finally made it big. My life story is now on film, and as you know, it's called Raging Bull. The violence in there was toned down. The violence should have been even more so, because if they did, probably people wouldn't believe it anyhow, but that's the kind of life I had.
Well, I think my killer instincts probably came from my childhood, you know, from me growing up in the city where you had to protect everything that you had because there was always somebody there trying to take it away from you. It keeps a bitterness in you, and, you know, and it makes you hungry, I think, for some of the things that other people have. It makes you want to have the nice house, a nice car, the money in the pocket, the money in the bank. It wants you to have a great professional career, something like that, somewhere where you're respectable. Well, first of all, boxing has been an education to me. It has enabled me to travel around the world to see different parts of the country and of this world that you can't really get out of a textbook. You know, being able to meet top royalty people, to shake hands, to hold a decent conversation with them. Boxing has also gave me education to learn about myself, to help me to research deep into me, to find out who I am and what I want in life. And basically, I think that all I want to do is just to be somebody.
Champions are a unique breed. I mean, they got to want it more than the other guy. They got to give it harder work. So if you don't want it, basically, it don't make a difference how great he is, how good he wants to be, or anything, if you don't want it. Anybody can get a job, anybody. But not everybody can be a fighter. You got to be something special.
Knockout, the story of boxing, will continue in a moment.